Yayo.
What up, dum dum? Dingy dang, dingbat.
Happy Friday, my man.
Yeah,
Happy
dude.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Hey, I want to give a shout out. This won't come out on today, obviously, but today while we're recording is Friday, the 15th of July. That is Marcus Long's 40th birthday. It's a good buddy of ours who's in the Storehouse Mastermind. So shout out to Marcus Long. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Marcus. Happy birthday. 40.
40.
Oh,
That's old, dude.
that is
Whoa.
so old. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm 40. Probably retire.
Probably
Probably
retire.
retire.
Probably get a
Old
lot
man.
of likes on the social medias and a lot of happy birthdays from all of your friends.
Um,
Just
so
heartsies
how do
and
I say this?
likies.
I want to be very clear. I am always very appreciative
Yeah.
of those types of things, but I find this got kind of messed up. I don't actively, if I don't know to tell you happy birthday, and this is just purely like, this is probably like, I mean, what a turd to poop on happy birthdays, but like that's part of the Facebook world that I just can't stand, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like if Facebook is where, because the reminder pops up to the whole world, hey, it's your birthday, and everybody wishes you happy birthday. I don't know, man. I find it to be disingenuous. I find it to be disingenuous. I'm just gonna say it. I find it to be disingenuous.
Fair enough.
As I also find when people ask, like if they ask genuine questions, and you always have to question it, right? Like you always have to question if someone's putting out a very well thought out question in order to create engagement, which is not a bad thing because engagement is good. But when there's a lot of likes to the question, I think that's awesome because you like the question, but I also think it doesn't require anything, right? It's not real input. Like I really like that question. Like imagine if you were talking to somebody
Yeah.
and Stu, you asked a very insightful question, which would be an anomaly. Uh it'd be an anomaly.
I know what you're talking about,
But
dude. I ask great questions,
it's
great
true. You
questions
do.
on every podcast. My
You
questions are
do.
amazing.
You do. But if you asked a really good question, and I was like, Stu, I really like your question. Next topic.
Or not even that. Like, hey, David, I'm really struggling with this thing. I need your help on it. Likesies. See ya.
Not even like you, but like a thumbs up or emoji smile.
Thumbs up emoji smile. Good question. See ya.
I don't know. And I'm not ignorant to it, right? Like I get it. Like I get the dopamine and I get all the things. I get how people are literally addicted to likes, and it was really cool. Went to the Dude Perfect show last night, and they talked about that. They talked about that. They did a whole show, amazing. They come out at the end, and they're like, "Hey, if you want to stick around, we're gonna share." I don't remember how they framed it, but like they framed it in a way that you knew what they were gonna do, and a bunch of people left, a bunch of people stayed. It was really cool. They came out, and the way they framed it, which was really interesting, is they said we get these three questions most often. Number one question, who's the panda? Like there's a panda, and they've never said who the panda is, and they will continue to not tell you who the panda is. And then the second one was like, I don't know, whatever it was. How many shots does it take? And they just talked about how there's it takes a lot of shots to get their videos. And I don't remember whatever, but they said one of the most common one was, after 13 years of doing this, how are you still friends? And this got me thinking other things, like, because I posted those questions yesterday that you could interpret it a number of ways, but they were serious questions about, transitioning. And I said, I don't, while I appreciate your likes, they do nothing for me except for maybe a small dopamine hit. But I want your thoughts. Like, give me tactics on how to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like, give me something real, right? Well, what they said, they were talking about the reason that they're still friends after 13 years doing all this stuff is because of their faith, because of their individual faith. They have a commonality and a bond in Jesus Christ that is stronger than they start talking about identity. and the show is not their identity. It's not who they are. It's what they do. It's a job. It's fun, but it's not who they are, and they don't seek their identity in that. They seek it in Christ. And
Yeah.
all that stuff was happening. I'm thinking through like, okay, on social media. Oh, and then I'm sorry. And then they said, you should never, they said, keep at it. You should never, the number of likes does not determine who you are.
Mm.
And the number of followers, that people are obsessed with this number, and it's causing them to create these identities and whatever. And so as they're addressing that, I'm like, man, this is really, it's a good word, but it also like, the socials is a place where people are seeking these likes, right? And it's creating so much. Like, I'm thinking about it for my kids. I'm like, okay, how do I address this now? And I don't know how you address it, dude.
Yeah.
Because when you pose a real question on the links and the faces, and you ask for feedback, you still just get thumbsies upsies, right? Which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. But if someone were truly reaching out and they believe in these platforms, they were truly reaching out like, hey, I am really, really struggling. I'm just curious, like how that would play out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then it gets my mind going towards like, are people just posting things that are so either one way or the other, just to get those likes and those hearts and those thumbs up, just to cause emotion, and emotion sells, right? That's what media companies do. They sell emotion. And so are people like just going so extreme to one way or the other, just to just to try to go viral, right? Just to try to make noise. And are you really wanting feedback? Are you really seeking criticism, or are you just trying to cause drama? And so I think you and I would both challenge individuals like to think about what you're posting, and also think about how you're engaging with others on the socials. Because I mean, like you did, David, like there's something that we have a question to, we are curious about, struggling with, and you pose a real question. Like, we hope for real answers, and even if that's like criticism, not just heartsies, thumbs up, and likesies.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the answer is yes, I think. Yes. The answer is yes, because there's such an addiction to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know this guy well, but one of the dudes that responded, I'll give him a shout out. A shout out or a shout out? A shout out.
Yes.
He's a helo pilot, and to my question, he actually gave a resource. And this is the reason why, and I'm sure people are, they're probably jaded when someone posts something, because everybody, well, I don't know if everybody knows, you get sucked into, you get sucked into these things. I'll tell you what happened to me last night. Not what happened to me, what I chose to do, but this dude responded to the question. His name is Jesse Hampshire. Do you know him?
I don't.
No. So he responded, and I don't know him personally, but he responded on LinkedIn. He gave me a resource. He actually gave a couple resources. He said, hey, if anybody wants to, I'm struggling with this. I appreciate his honesty. There's this life coach I've been working with. If anybody wants me to make the connection, please tell me. And then he said, oh no, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. Oh, it was a text. Somebody responded to me in text and said, hey, there's also this exercise for professionals to find their why that was different than, it was like the Holland something or other. So I was going to look it up today, but vastly different than the normal, Simon Sinek and all that, which are great things. We do those,
Yeah.
but they're great things. But it was really cool that someone gave a resource as a response. Because now I'm going to go look at that and use that. Right. And that's what, when I ask this question, I'm thinking about the mastermind too. And like, there could be people that are struggling and they may have some incredible resources. What I did find in the responses is that we're on the right path with this mastermind. We already knew that because of the awesome conversations, but, and really, for those listening, who you surround yourself in real life, not Facebook, who you surround yourself in real life will make a difference. It will make the difference.
Yeah.
And so that was something that was really important. But what I was looking at last night, or I saw someone posted this thing. It was a military guy, and then he mentioned that he was a white guy, but he was highlighting where he came from, his background, affluent, white, blah blah blah. He listed it, and dude, it was amazing to me how quickly people only gravitated. They missed the entire context of the conversation, what he was trying to say, which was obvious. It was obvious.
If you read the whole thing.
It wasn't even that long. So you read it, like it was like a couple lines. I came from, or I'm a bop 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 bop. I served, showed a picture of him, like probably spec ops, something or other. And this is how, and it changed my perspective and helped me to become more empathetic, blah, 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 to counter all these things that he had, the way he'd grown up. And I guess you could look at it as a victim. And a lot of people did. And I finally was like, I just can't even, I'm not going to engage, one, but two, like, I just can't. But it was fascinating to me to see how the vitriol that was created because he said, I am a white man. And without any other context, people were like, oh, race, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying these things are not important, but they missed the richness of the conversation, quote unquote conversation. These are like comments to a post, in the focus, and to your point exactly, on the things that are most inflammatory, or how you can change them to be very inflammatory. And it just shows like you wouldn't do that in real life, dude. You wouldn't do that in real life.
Yeah.
And if you did, you do it in a way that was constructive, or asking for clarity or whatever. You could get in a rich conversation about race, but we're in an interesting time. And to your point exactly, it's just, we're trying to create, I've heard it called, I forgot who called it this, but this outrage porn.
Mm.
And that you just want to be outraged, and you don't want to acknowledge that you love it.
Yeah.
Outrage porn. And your outrage then gets reposted, and anybody who's not outraged yet finds your outrage, and they find a reason to be outraged, and then it just spins, and the news cycles are so good at it that it creates viewership, likes, viral posts, and all this kind of stuff. So I guess the whole point to all of this is, if you want to engage, if you really want to be engaged, if you really want to become better, you really want your life to improve, surround yourself with real human beings that are going to do that for you and do that with you, right? Like, if you're really that interested in it, don't waste so much time liking and being online, because I would challenge, you can find stuff. I'm not saying it's not useful, but you can find stuff, but nothing replaces human interaction and conversations and humanity. It's a lot harder to troll when you're looking at someone in their face, right?
Yep.
Anyway.
Totally, man. I dig it. Good stuff. Seek criticism, not likesies and heartsies.
Well, not even seek criticism. I mean, yes, but
seek feedback.
Like, seek
real
conversation.
Yeah.
Seek something deeper than this. And if you're on the receiving end of it,
he's giving a thumbs up for those that are just listening.
I'm sorry. And a smile. So my face is the emoji and my thumbs up is the like. But if you're on the receiving end of that, like, think through what it really is and the effort that somebody put into that, and give the commensurate amount of feely good, right?
Yeah.
Like, analyze why you feel so good about it. And I can honestly say, like, I look more to see if engagement than I do like, oh my gosh, Stu liked it. Like, I know the level of effort it takes for me to do. And I think most people would be like, I got 1 million likes. That literally happened in like 2 seconds. And someone probably didn't even read what you had to say. Yeah. Should you really feel that great about it? I don't know. My opinion, which is, maybe I'm just getting old, man. I don't know.
You are old. You're over 40. So
I am. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Dum Dudes. It was deep. David's always dumb.
You're dumb, dude. Everybody give Stu a thumbs down. I wish there was thumbs downs.
Thumbs downs.
There probably are thumbs downs. Are there any thumbs downs in LinkedIn? Or
I
The
don't know
book
if
of
there's an.
faces. There's like angry faces and like, "Oh, I'm so mad at your post." Post makes me
All right,
so mad.
we gotta end this thing.
We gotta, we gotta.
See ya.
Deuce.